Every number tells a story, and every story hides a lesson. Welcome to Balance Sheet Stories, where finance meets storytelling.
All right, today we are digging into one of the most incredible corporate comeback stories I've seen in a while, Tata Motors. And this entire story, really, it all kicks off with just one jaw-dropping number. Yeah, that number, 31,807 crore rupees. Just let that sink in for a second. That is the record-breaking net profit Tata Motors pulled in this past financial year. A number so big, you just have to ask, how?
And to really get a sense of how massive this is, just look at last year. They made just under 2,700 crores. This year, over 31,000 crores. I mean, that's not just growth. That's a more than 10-fold leap. It's absolutely historic.
So that brings us to the big question, right? A year like this, a record-breaking year, it just doesn't happen by accident. So how in the world did Tata Motors pull this off? Well, the answer isn't some single silver bullet. To really find it, you got to pop the hood, you know? We need to look at the company's different parts and see how each one was firing. And look, the biggest piece of this puzzle, the real engine behind this insane growth, is the incredible turnaround story of its luxury brand, Jaguar Land Rover. To really get the scale here, you have to understand something. In many ways, Jaguar Land Rover is the Tata Motors universe. It makes up almost 70% of the company's entire automotive revenue. So yeah, it's by far the biggest piece of the business. But here's the thing. A big revenue share, that doesn't automatically mean big profits, right? The real magic in this story, the absolute key, isn't just about how many cars JLR sold. It's about how much money it made on those sales. And the improvement there? Well, it was just dramatic.
And when I say dramatic, I mean staggering. JLR's profit rocketed from just under 3,500 crores in FY23 to over 25,000 crores in FY24. Just think about that. That single explosion in one division, that accounts for the lion's share of Tata's entire turnaround. Wow. But of course, it wasn't just JLR. You got to give credit where it's due. The domestic business back in India was absolutely firing on all cylinders too. The commercial vehicles division, healthy profit growth. And the passenger vehicle side, they nearly doubled their profit. So this success was really broad-based. Okay, so the company made an absolute mountain of cash. Great. But what does that actually mean for its long-term health? Let's switch gears and look at the balance sheet, because this profit is helping build a much stronger foundation for the future.
You know, one of the quickest ways to check a company's financial risk is to look at something called its debt-to-equity ratio. It's a really fundamental metric, and it's something investors watch like a hawk. So what is it? It's actually pretty simple. It just compares the money a company owes to the money it actually owns. If the number is high, it means it's relying a lot on borrowing, which, can be risky. A lower number? That suggests a much more stable, self-reliant company. And this is where those massive profits made a huge difference. Tata Motors basically took that cash and used it to aggressively pay down its debt. Look at this. The ratio was more than cut in half, dropping from a kind of risky 2.77 all the way down to a much healthier 1.16. That is a massive step towards making the company safer for the future. So, a super profitable year, a way stronger balance sheet. That's fantastic news for the company for sure. But what about for the people who actually own a piece of it, the shareholders? Well, let's see how Tata Motors is sharing the love. Yeah, after years of being patient, investors are finally getting their reward. After this incredible performance, the company's board went ahead and announced a dividend for its shareholders. So here are the details. They've announced a total dividend of 6 rupees per share. Now, that's made up of two parts. A 3 rupee final dividend, and then a special one-time dividend of another 3 rupees, really just to celebrate this absolute blockbuster of a year. So if you boil this whole amazing story down, it's really about 3 things. First, just massive 10-fold profit growth. Second, JLR's absolutely stellar performance. That was the main engine. And third, and this is so important, they used that success to slash their debt, putting the company on much firmer financial ground.
It's really been a transformational year for Tata Motors. They've shifted the whole narrative from just recovery to, outright dominance. And it leaves all of us with a really exciting question for the future. With profits soaring and debt falling, what will Tata Motors conquer next?